Hello, and welcome back to the only channel on the internet that is dedicated to talking about anime and manga as a hobby. This is sort of going to be a monthly recap on all the anime that I've watched in the past month and all the manga that I've read and probably all the manga that I will read in the coming month and the manga that I've read and the anime I've watched in the past month. Some of it I've already talked about in a video like Socks. I think that's about it. I can't remember what. No, I don't think I talked about High School DxD yet. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the anime and the manga that I've watched. Starting with some of the manga. I've started reading The Alchemist Who Survived That Now Dreams of a Quiet City Life, and that's about a young girl who lives in the woods. She's an alchemist. She makes potions, and then pretty much a stampede comes through, pretty much destroying her house and everything that she's worked for over the past few years, and ruining everything. And then she travels to this city to try to sell some potions, and she runs into this group of, I think they're the Iron or Steel something Corps, and they're basically just slave traders is what they are in the book. And she meets them, and she doesn't know what they do, but they're pretty much the only people that she knows for right now, so she kind of has no choice but to know them. And she goes with them to this other city, and it's kind of like run down and kind of just been taken over by a bunch of different people. There's really I don't really think there's any sort of king or anything in it. It's just sort of there and exists. And so they're in there, and this girl, she finds out what these people actually are, and she finds out that if they can't sell these people, then they're mostly like, it's kind of forced labor, which I guess is the same thing. There's really no other way to describe that, really. Either way you say it, it's not good. There's really no good way to say it. So she ends up buying one of these people that has like a bum leg and a busted arm and one eye. Only has one eye. So she fixes him up and sort of uses him as a sort of a partner in crime, I guess. I haven't read the whole thing yet, so I don't really exactly know what the whole thing is about, but it's pretty good from what I've read so far. And then I started reading Spice and Wolf, which is about this merchant who, his name's Lawrence, and he's a merchant, and he's in this town with a festival about it's celebrating the end of a harvest, and they have this celebration where they sort of have to find this fox, this magical fox, and whoever catches the fox basically gets to be the fox. And it's sort of like one of these rituals that the fox kind of represents like a good harvest. If you find the fox, you're going to have a good harvest for the next year. So that's kind of what they're trying to do. They're trying to find the fox so that they can have a plentiful harvest for the next season. But the fox ends up being in this dude's carriage, and she kind of explains how she ended up there, even though she's a mystical god. So this dude doesn't really believe that she's a fox, and then she kind of proves it that she's a fox, and she has the ears and everything and the tail of a fox, so she's kind of a fox, And he's like, well, I don't know what to do, so you guys can come with me. And so they're now sort of together and trading stuff. He has a bunch of fur skins he's trying to sell. I haven't read the whole thing, but Spice and Wolf is definitely a recommendation that I would wholeheartedly make if you're looking for a new anime or a new manga to read. And I am wholly looking forward to it becoming an anime because I want to watch it. I want to see it. I don't want to just read it. I want to watch it. And speaking of watching, right, I just finished watching SOX, or otherwise known as a world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. And I mentioned in my video about it that it's pretty much if Ninja Sex Party had an anime, they just try to go around spreading as much filthy jokes as they can and trying to convert these people and show them that dirty jokes can be fun and healthy if done appropriately. So that's basically the whole premise of the show. And I don't want to spoil it, but at the end of the show, they find sort of a stash of fun stuff that people would like to use, I guess is a way to say that. And that's pretty much all about that, you know. And then finished up watching all of High School DxD, which that can go either way. That's a show of this kid who becomes a devil, and he's sort of like a pervy devil. He's a perv before he gets turned into a devil, but now that he's surrounded by a bunch of not too bad looking women, that perviness just kind of gets escalated. And yeah, he gets the power of the Red Dragon and the Red Dragon Emperor, and he uses his perviness to sort of defeat his enemies in a way, you know. So it's sort of entertaining, but not. So I wanted to watch it after Interspecies Reviews got removed from Funimation, because there was a whole controversy between whether or not that show should stay up, and you know, if Interspecies Review got taken down, why is High School DxD or a show like it still up? And I think after this whole controversy, the production company started to censor some episodes. That's the only reason I can come up with for it, because they don't want to take it down, but they want to make it more sort of comply with what people sort of want to watch, I guess. In a way, I don't really know why they started censoring it. So anime, that's pretty much all of the anime and manga that with the exception of Smile Down the Runway. I just started watching that one the other night, so I guess it kind of counts as for March, even though it was at the very tail end of it. It's about a young girl named Chiyuki. I forget what the male protagonist's name is. I haven't watched the show long enough yet. This boy wants to be, or this shouldn't call him a boy, he's a guy, a man who wants to be a fashion designer, but he's too shy to actually like accomplish, or actually, you know how to accomplish his goals or stand up for what he wants to do with his life. So he just kind of does what he thinks is right, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with doing what you think is right. But he meets this girl who is the daughter of a popular fashion designer in Japan, and she wants to work for her father. She wants to represent her father's company, because I guess her father's company was named after her, so she wants to represent it in France, the French Fashion Week. And she's not tall enough to be a model, even though she's more than skilled enough to do it successfully. She just keeps getting told no over and over again, and rejected by pretty much every agency that she goes to, and every time she tries to audition for her father's agency, she gets rejected because she's too short. She's like 5 centimeters too tall or too short or something. She's like 175, and the shortest they allow you to be is like 180 or something, which is a little bit sort of stupid, I think. Because, you know, people are obviously different heights and weights and sizes and shapes. And I think there should be a couple people from each of those categories represented in fashion, because nobody is perfect. You know, not everybody is 180 centimeters tall, 150 pounds, you know, so it's very, very stupid how they have this set up, because, again, everybody is a different shape, everybody is a different size, different color, you know, so there should be a couple people from each category represented, I think. Not just one person or one group of people should be represented in it. And that's kind of what the show is focusing on, in a way, is that sort of mindset in the fashion industry. And this young boy, this young man, the 17-year-old man, really super talented fashion designer. But again, he just gets rejected because he's too young and he doesn't have enough experience in the fashion industry to be considered for a professional fashion job, even though he's, again, more than enough skilled to do it. So this whole show is just sort of based on, like, if I'm good enough at something and I can do it well, and I prove that I can do it good enough, and I prove that I can make this look amazing, and I can prove that I can make something that looks good on somebody, why can't I do it professionally, you know? And everybody keeps telling him he's too young, or they're too young, or they don't have this and they don't have that, and that's why they'll never succeed, because they're too young, they're too this, they're too that, they're not enough, they don't have enough this, they don't have enough that, you know, whatever. Which I think is somewhat stupid. Like, if this kid can prove himself on multiple occasions that he's talented in the fashion industry, and I think that goes for real life too, like, if somebody's talented enough and passionate enough about fashion or anything, really, why can't they have a chance at proving that? Especially if they've already proven themselves before, which, I mean, this more focuses on the hypocrisy and the stupidity of the fashion industry. You know, I have no shame watching it. I like it. It's entertaining. It's something different. It's enjoyable. So if you want to watch a anime about fashion and people wanting to live up their dreams, definitely Smile Down the Runway is a definite must for you. And that's pretty much all of what I wanted to talk about today. I'll see you guys in the next video. And until then, keep reading anime. See ya.